Now let's see the Ezekiel choke from the mount. Okay. First thing, I have to trap his neck, one hand behind his neck. Okay. You have two ways to adjust your grip, your elbow joint on his head. One is pushing his head against your arm, and the other is walking with your hands, pushing his neck with your arm. Okay, this is a very good position that will make you have tight grips in every single position. Okay, keep this in mind. Now, here you have to don't let your opponent see what's going on. Okay, try to do that as much as you can in every single attack. All right. So I keep my head down here so he cannot see what I'm doing here right now. Okay. Now I'm going to control my sleeve, okay, with my hands. Note that this is an illegal grip if I do that on him, okay, but I am allowed to grab my own sleeve. All right. So inside my sleeve here. Now I'm going to sneak this hand, okay, over his neck. Okay, so he will feel that the hand is coming, but he's not seeing right now. So you have to do this fast. So as soon as you start, you have to pass the hand over the neck and grab your uniform, okay, on the biceps. Now take a look here. See that there's a space between my hand and his ear and his neck. All right. So this is wrong. The choke is not about putting pressure on the neck right now here. Okay. You need to adjust before to submit him in a more effective way. All right. So now, as you cannot like adjust, reducing this space to the side because you are not able to bring your hand towards the neck. What you do is you bring this elbow, my right elbow, up, and I will bring my left elbow down, so they will rotate my both arms like that. Okay, when you switch this position, automatically your hand will be right behind his neck. No. Okay, right now, to adjust and submit him, you take this grip that is on the biceps here, shift to the forearm, going down. Now the choke is totally tight, and now that my elbow went up again here, and I lock my four fingers on my forearm, now I put all my body weight towards my left elbow to the ground, and then you submit him. Okay, now the arm bar from the first mobilization on the same side consists in driving his arm over his body. Okay, so you need to drive his arm across it on his body right here. Usually he will have his hand between me and him, okay, because then he can block the mount, okay, as a defensive measure. Okay, so as soon as you are here, you use your right arm to go after his elbow, okay, to lift up and pass over him. Note that you have to, as you are giving some space him, you are giving the opportunity to him to shrimp and escape from side control. At least use your shoulder to over his head to make it uncomfortable. Remember that the head controls most of the times all the body motions. Okay, so if I turn his head to the side, that would be difficult for him to turn his hips on the right position where he needs to in order to do the shrimp. Okay, so to do the shrimp he needs the head like that. If I keep his head like that, try to do the shrimp. Look, he can't move the shoulder. It's an uncomfortable position. Okay, so when you are working on your submissions from the side control, you need to keep controlling something, legs or the head, in order to create some space and go for the submission. Okay. So I use my head, my shoulder on his head, then I drive his elbow on his body. Okay. Now I switch this grip, my hand by my chest, so I have control still on his arm. Okay. Now you will come around inside his arm with your right arm. Okay. My left hand will go after his wrist, and now keep your elbow close to his head. Alright? Note that I have my knee here touching his other ear as well, so I have total control of his head right now. Okay? Hand on the wrist, and now I finish with my hand on my own wrist. Okay? From here, you put the other knee on the belly. Now you can bring the arm up towards your chest, pass the other leg over the head, okay? Bring the foot closer to him, and then you can lay down on the arm bar, okay? You cannot just hold your lapel, it's a very tactical position. Note that you don't need to pass this leg over the body, it's unnecessary, okay? Just keep close my foot under his back, keep the pressure on your knees together, and now you can just lay down and do the bridge. Okay. You will see that from this position here, you have the opportunity to go for the Kimura. Okay? So that's an option that you have, alright? So after you have the knee on the belly and pass the leg over, yes, you have the option to go for the Kimura right away. Okay? Okay, here's the arm bar from the back mount. Okay, make sure you have your hooks in. That's the first thing you have to worry about. Okay, now I'm going to work on the arm. With my left arm will come around and under his arm and control his sleeve here. Okay. Now I'm going to pull him forward in diagonal towards the left corner here. Okay. So I use my arm and I use all my body to drive him on this motion to the side, okay? And then I lean over on the shoulder. Now you can put your forehead on the ground to establish your balance here, okay? Now, my right hand will push his head up a little bit, enough to bring my other leg over his neck. Okay, to make the roll here, here's the thing, some adjustments that we need to do. First thing, you need to control to have this grip here, from your sleeve to your own lapel. So you sneak your arm more, okay? Bring your arm as much as you can, try to keep your armpit on his armpit, control your lapel, okay? Note that I will do the side roll right now, okay? If you remember the foundation for the side roll, I'm going to do the same thing right now. Okay, now to do the roll here, you have to make sure you have three things ready. One, I have to be looking towards him, okay? Because as I am doing the side roll, remember that I go over my shoulder and my head comes inside as well, on that direction, okay? If you turn your head to the other side, you get stuck. It's impossible to roll to the right side, okay? That's a very common mistake. Okay, now the second thing is, the leg that is over his neck needs to flex up, okay? So I'm going to pull him up, flexing as much as I can. The last thing is, my left leg, okay, the trick is, usually people think that it needs to flex as well, but it's wrong, okay? To use your hips, okay, make him roll easier using leverage. In fact, you need to straight your left leg towards the mat, okay? So at the same time, when I straight the left leg, then my hips are moving already, okay? And automatically I flex the leg, and then we'll finish on the arm bar. Okay? Alright, the arm bar from the turtle position, it's pretty much the same of the arm bar from the back mount, but we will use a side roll from here. Okay. It is, of course, you see a basic arm bar here, just grabbing his arm, passing the leg over the head, and like passing the other leg over his body and laying down. Okay. This is a very basic arm bar. Usually Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighters don't use that. Okay, it's very loose, very easy to escape. Okay. From here, same principle. Okay, keep your chest on his back, make it heavier. All right. Now I'm gonna come around his arm again on the sleeve. Okay. My other leg, my right leg, will come around his neck as well. Okay. You use your right hand on the ground to keep your balance. Okay. Now my left leg will be the last position to adjust before the roll. Okay, I have to bring my shin on his back. Okay, trapping with all my foot, shin, and knee on his back. Okay, so you don't put the knee on the back. All right, this is totally wrong. You slide your leg to the side. Okay, aiming the ground right here. Alright, and then you'll be ready to do the side roll. Right. Arm, head, hand on the ground. Now I slide my leg on the back, and I'm doing the side roll already. And then you finish on the same position. You don't need to pass this leg over the body. It's a waste of time. Okay, just right here. Alright, the Kimura from the closed guard. Okay. First thing, I need to break his grip once again. The easiest way, very basic, is like having my hand under his wrist and breaking the grip, controlling his wrist. Okay. Now I can go over his shoulder, sitting up, using my closed guard again. Okay, and grabbing my own wrist. Okay. Now note that my hips are turned a little bit to the right side. Okay, actually I'm straight in front of him right now, but once I sit up, they turn to the right a little bit. Okay, at the end, okay, you make sure that you have your hips all the way to the left side. Okay, so you're gonna rotate the hips before the submission. Okay, so when I'm here, I will pull him down. All right, driving his wrist up. Okay, on his back. Note that I am turning my body already. Okay, one thing and wrong way that people do the Kimura is using your muscles of your arms to drive his arm towards the back. Okay, that's wrong. Not wrong, but not as effective as using your hips and your upper body rotating to the left. Okay, because doing that you have much strength. Alright, and I don't need to move my arms anymore. As soon as I have the lock, I let my leg, my hip, and my upper body do the job. Okay, so note that I open my guard and I'll shrimp and I'll twist my upper body to the left side now. Look, I put myself in a cross position, and then I'm ready just to lift up this arm here, stepping up already. Note that when you open your guard to do this, before the submission, make sure you close your guard again. because that will be easier for him to pass the guard and defend himself if he has some resistance, okay? So right now, you keep his elbow close to your chest and just drive his arm up on the wrist doing this motion. Alright, here's the arm bar from the third immobilization. Okay. First you pick one arm, alright? When you're like low, then is the right time that you start to come around and trap his arm, okay? Bring his arm close to his body. Make sure your elbow is like driving everything close to him, to you. Now I drive my hand to my opposite lapel, okay? So the arm bar is set up here already. Now the second thing to do, I'm going to push down his elbow, okay, and pass my leg over the arm as you did for the pass the guard position, okay. So I bring his arm to me a little bit and I advance and pass my leg over the arm, okay. Now the third thing to do is I'm going to lift him up, making sure that he's turning to the side, okay. Now to make sure that he will not be able to put his back on the mat again, I put my left knee up and keep my leg close to his back, okay, keeping the pressure here. Now he can't move anymore. Now, to you go for the arm bar, it's just a matter of rotate your body to the side, okay, without move anything else. And then you lay down with the grip here already set. Alright, here comes this other basic choke front close guard, okay? Now I'm going to straighten his lapel, okay? Now I'm going to slide up my hand, it's a cross grip with my thumb inside the lapel, okay? Slide up as much as you can, okay? On this choke, you don't start to work with him when he's leaning over me, okay? It starts when he's like on the pass the guard position, okay, because it's a surprising attempt and he might be choked out, even while he's still believing that he's able to pass my guard right now, okay. Now, as soon as you have this grip, alright, you're going to put your arm a little bit low to make sure that it's on the line of the neck and not over his chin, okay. So you need even to sit up a little bit to make sure that you have your arm in the right position, alright? Now, my second hand, left hand, comes around his neck, okay? And I will sit up at the same time. When I sit up, okay, I pull him to me, all my body weight is attached to him, so it's a natural reaction, we go back to the ground, okay? So as soon as I sit up and I trap his head, he might go down with me, okay? The second hand now, make sure your armpit is behind his neck. My left hand now will pass on this empty space here between my armpit and his neck and will slide in like in that motion, okay, like that, okay. When you do that, it squeezes the armpit around his neck here, okay. Then to submit, note that I did this motion. I put this elbow up and I put this elbow down. Okay, doing this motion. It's not like a choke like that, like a guillotine idea. Okay, this is like some technique that we don't use anymore. Okay, it's too much strength. All right. So as soon as I have the lapel, I go after him and I choke him out. This is a very basic reversal that comes from the top position on the turtle. Okay. Now from here I'm straight front of him. All right. Now my hand right now Okay, we'll trap his elbow with my, make sure your elbow and your forearm are on the ground as well. Okay, now I'm going to move to the side. Okay, have this hand underneath him and trap on the other elbow, the same elbow. Okay, now as soon as I move, I have my both hands on his elbow now. Okay, I have my shoulder touching his shoulder. So I pull his elbows to me. Make sure you are doing this motion with your elbows. Okay, contracting, keep it closer. Okay. Then I pull the elbow to me and I push him with my shoulder as much as you can. All right. He's all locked up here. All right. So later on you learn some submissions from here, because you don't want to give up this good grip that you end up here right now. Okay. For now, just keep the side control.